This is the kind of stuff you dream about.
On today's show, there's a new adventure awaiting visitors to Lake of the Woods. Tag along as we explore Black Island.
Basically both heat exhaustion and heat stroke.
Now that summer has arrived, it's time to start thinking about the summer heat. What do you know about the signs of dehydration or heat exhaustion? The folks at HCMC have some warm weather tips.
This here used to be our retail store.
And later, our Minnesota Bound Classic is the story about one of Minnesota's most famous Minnesota-made icons, the Duluth Pack, the most famous name in wilderness camping. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, Raven and I welcome you to the show. And first off, we're going on a great new adventure to Lake of the Woods. Our man about the woods, Bill Shirk, got the story and he got to go there.
Gonna catch the big ones today.
Every summer, people go north in search of fish tales come true.
We're prepared. It just doesn't get any better.
Just after breakfast, Ballard's resort guides get to work.
Rush hour.
The fleet idles out towards Lake of the Woods.
She's coming.
Head guide Nick Anthony and I stay put.
Morning rush hour is over, and we're going nowhere. Storms are brewing.
Nick and I could see that this big storm was coming, so we said, one more cup of coffee, let's wait this thing out.
This time of year, summer storms pass quickly.
Rainstorm's over, we're dry.
Let's do this.
We leave Ballard's behind and head for open water.
Here we go.
Even on hot summer days, Lake of the Woods walleyes bite,
All right, take your blindfold off.
at least on Nick's secret spots.
What do we got, buck of fish or?
See, it's always got to be a competition with him. I never beat him, ever.
Nick averages 130 days of guiding a summer. Truth be told, he never knew he'd end up a fisherman.
Never did. I thought I'd be climbing trees. To my degrees in forestry. Look at all these trees.
But the guy knows how to catch fish.
Oh, money in the bank!
First fish, and of course, I'm netting it.
Gosh, I love this fish. It might be small,
Boy,
but I tell you what. Nice Lake of the Woods sauger.
It's money in the bank.
All right, let's go in. First and most, right? And biggest.
first and most and biggest.
So that's how it goes when the two of us share the boat.
Fish down.
Oh, I think this is going to be a net fish.
Nice one.
I just got my buck back.
Now, this past week, we've been seeing just a great number of them 20 to 28 inch fish very consistently.
But you know what? We're kissing the 28-incher spot goodbye.
It's good to see you catch one in person.
Precursor, that was only planned.
By lunch, we're back in home base,
Got a few surprises.
and we pack the trucks.
It's kind of funny, we just got here, it's time to hit the road. Nick, let's go! We are about to take this adventure to another level. Nick, let's roll!
We're actually gonna cross the border into Canada, right outside of Baudette. We're headed north.
It's about a 1-hour drive to Ballard's new secret spot. Just enough time to catch a little photographer shut-eye. Right, Greg? Shh. we've got
There you go.
a boatload, literally, of gear.
Granted, my boat is not quite as big and as grand as his, but it sure looks a lot sharper.
Ballard's Gas can now launch boats in the town of Morrison. We're off Lake of the Woods, main basin, and into the lake's islands. And there, in front of us,
Wow.
Ballard's Black Island, the new identity of Ballard's Resort.
It's kind of an outdoorsman's dream, really.
It's a brand spanking new island camp that will change the way you think about fishing. Hang tight, you'll see.
Coming up, there's a few surprises lurking in the waters of Black Island Lodge. Let's see if we can catch them.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers. Renewal by Anderson. Seven Clans Casino. Connecticut. And by Rapala.
Welcome back. Let's continue now with our adventure to Black Island to see if, can they catch a muskie?
So here we are,
Wow.
smack dab in the heart of Lake of the Woods Islands, ready to discover Ballard's brand spanking new island resort. It's a little different beast from headquarters 30 miles down the lake.
You know, it's a little different than our home place. You know, it's pretty high strung down there. Up here, it's nice and relaxing. Tucked away in the cove here.
Today, we're throwing the big stuff for the biggest fish around.
Today, we're gonna do it. We're after that 50-inch muskie today. That's our goal, right?
Nearly 1 million acres of water
So here we are.
wrapped around 14,000 islands. Where to start?
We'll come in through here. Start here.
Okay.
Nice shallow surface rocks.
It's so cool back in here. 14,000 islands. You can get in the boat and just go and go and go. It's still a wild place back here.
We're here and we're going there. It's the greenest land in all the North Woods. Just in case. Don't get that wet.
Part of the lure of this area, anglers can always find quiet, fishable water, even on the windiest days.
So I know you're the captain of Lake of the Woods. Are you going to be offended if you fish from the back of the boat?
I'm in the back, you bet. It's kind of a long bomb from here.
So we're thinking rocks and points today. That's where you've been seeing them
That's where
anyway.
we've been seeing them, catching them. Oh, that's a weak one right there.
Up here, pick a point, pick a bait, start casting. Good things will happen.
This is the kind of stuff you dream about.
Muskie fishing here is, I would call it, you know, pretty excellent. A common day, you're hopefully going to see anywhere from 5 to 15 fish. See any yet?
Nope.
Oh.
Not yet. So we've been casting 90 minutes. Tain't seen fish yet.
Musky fishing.
Well, it's rumored that they are everywhere. This point's got to have a big one. Doesn't it? Oh, there's a fish, there's a fish, there's a fish.
There's our first fish of the trip, and he was a monster. That was 48 plus. We called it. We thought this would be the point. That was Mama. That was Granny. That was a Gertie.
That's what gets your heart thumping when you're musky fishing. When you see that darn thing in the water. I mean, these things are monsters. They're huge.
Oh, fish, 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 fish. When your heart starts going and all the things that could go wrong and you're trying to make them go right, and it's awesome. It's always awesome, every time.
That was a solid fish too. Wasn't that long, but stout.
A decent one. Love it. Never know what you're gonna get.
He's hooked up. I'm going for the net. Going for the net. He came around and took on that.
Hit her on the 8.
Yep. You ready for her? Oh, good Lord.
on.
When it happens, it just crashes. All right, good job, man. Uh-oh. Now I'm gonna have to get out the first aid kit.
Musky blood, baby. I'm okay with that.
There we go.
So that's how it goes up around Black Island. Half a day of musky fishing, lots of lookers,
Nice shot.
and so far, a taker.
So, where are we gonna put that fish at? Woo!
I guess she's ready to rock.
She's ready to rock. There she goes.
And to think, this Lake of the Woods adventure is just getting started.
Musky on, baby.
Now repeat 3 times over.
Up next, the medical experts at HCMC have some tips on staying cool during a Minnesota summer.
Closed captioning is brought to you by The Yard, premier manufacturers of maintenance-free outdoor patio furniture and accessories from recycled plastic.
Joining me today is Dr. Doug Burnett from HCMC. The topic is heat strokes, heat exhaustion. We all hear about these things, but I'm not sure we know what it means.
Basically, both heat exhaustion and heat stroke are when your body temperature rises and it starts to affect various organ systems in a negative fashion.
So it's not a pretty serious thing.
Definitely. Heat stroke actually is a medical emergency. You can die from heat stroke.
How do you get a heat stroke?
Basically, your body becomes overwhelmed with heat, and so you are not able to maintain your body temperature at a normal level of 98.6, and your body temperature starts to rise.
So if I'm in the fishing boat with my buddy and he starts showing some symptoms, what would those symptoms be?
The symptoms are going to be nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, dizziness, lightheadedness, but the hallmark of heat stroke is an alteration in your level of consciousness. So the patient or the person will become confused, start babbling, not saying things, incoherent, and you'll get the sense that they're not acting right. That person has heat stroke.
What should I do if I see these symptoms?
Definitely get the person out of the hot environment as fast as you can. Get them to a cool, shady place. If it is indeed heat stroke, if they're not mentating normally, you need to cool them down as fast as possible. The best way to do that is with towels or clothing soaked in cool or cold water and wipe their body down.
What about drinking good old water?
What I would recommend in terms of drinking water is prevention of hyperthermia or heat stroke or heat exhaustion. So stay hydrated. That will help your body be able to keep its temperature low.
Now we all know how to avoid heat stroke, heat exhaustion. Thank you, Doc, for that great advice.
You're very welcome.
Hi everybody, today we're getting wild in the kitchen at the brand new Radisson Blu Fire Lake Grill House and Cocktail Bar, and I'm here with Executive Chef Paul Lynch. What are we going to get wild with today?
We have striped bass.
That sounds
And
delicious.
even though it's a striped bass, an ocean fish, it works equally well with any of the smallies as we love to call them, coming out of the lakes.
Fantastic. What is our first step?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make green goddess dressing. You start with a couple of cloves of garlic, and after it's all chopped up, we're just going to take it and we're going to add it to our blender. We're going to add a little bit of anchovy, a little bit of diced scallions in here, a lot of tarragon, parsley, buttermilk, lemon juice, olive oil, and salt and pepper. Now we have the green goddess dressing. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to make an herb crust for that. About 2 cups of fresh breadcrumbs. We're going to put some more chopped parsley, chopped chives, fresh tarragon, and then we're going to put some parsley on that.
Lots of green in this recipe. I like that.
That's why it's a green goddess. Now the next thing we're going to do is we want to take this beautiful fish, this lovely striped bass. So we're going to take a little bit of the green goddess dressing, and we're going to drizzle it on the fish, and we're going to just take these beautiful herb crumbs and we're going to just sprinkle them across the fish. So now this is all ready to go in. All you have to do is slide it right down into a nice hot pan. Now the bottom of the pan is going to continue to transfer the heat and really sear that bottom skin. Now we're just going to take this whole pan and we're going to throw it in a 425-degree oven. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull it out. You can see it's just getting that nice golden color. You can see it's crisping around the side. And a little sprinkle of pepper, and we are ready to eat. Lay that right in the dish.
Chef Paul, this definitely looks wildly delicious, and I can't wait to take a bite of this.
Here we go.
All right.
Still ahead, a Minnesota-bound classic, the story about one of Minnesota's most famous Minnesota-made icons. It's the Duluth Pack, still going strong.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Hennepin County Medical Center, Minnesota Agricultural Water Resources Coalition, Minnesota soybean farmers and their checkoff,
Time now for our Minnesota-bound classic, and it is a classic. If you've ever heard of the Duluth Pack, and if you've ever been to the Boundary Waters, chances are you carried one. Well, how are they made, and how did it all start?
Canoe trips to Minnesota's Boundary Waters always seem to require heavy loads. Canoes, paddles, fishing gear, plus all that camping stuff. It's so easy to overpack. But a French-Canadian explorer with a passion for the outdoors solved that problem a long time ago.
It all started with this guy named Camille Poirier back in the 1800s, and he came up with this idea for basically what's known as the Duluth Pack.
One bag, large enough to carry, well, everything.
It's a big canvas pack with leather straps on the back, and they're very specific as far as their use. They're made for canoeing.
Inside this century-old brick building on Duluth's west side, Nick Kelly explains the history.
This here used to be our retail store.
Now here you won't find much fancy stuff.
It's the original machinery that we've had, in this building as long as we've been around. When they build quality, and that's what we do, you can see the stuff lasts.
It takes a toll on your arms some days.
Canvas and leather packs are made by hand.
They go through leather like this, and even thicker than this. So they're pretty heavy duty. You don't want to get your finger under there. It hurts.
Hard work on the hands, hard work on the machines.
Mine's kind of an old man. It's not like the newer ones, but he does his job. His name is Gus.
Duluth Pack makes canvas bags for portaging, but over the years, they've seen more than the bottom of a canoe.
People that wanted to go camping or go out, they had to find some way that they could put their luggage and their camping equipment in their car. So we made an old canvas and leather pack that fit on the side of a Model T. We have a leather shell bag, which used to be just for hunters carrying around their shotgun shells, but today it's a purse.
These are small alterations from craftsmen who value the idea of adventure.
When you finish a product and you look at it and it's quality and you've got your name on it, makes you feel good.
Great story about the Duluth Pack. The only problem I've ever had with one is I put too much in it to go over those portages. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Shera, and of course, always the star of the show. She's paying attention too, is Raven.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.